Today's awesome episode of the Rants of Izzo show is brought to you by Spreely TV. Go to Spreely.com and check out all the shows on there, like the Burn Pit Podcast, Report and Opine, Shannon Joy, Pete Santilli, Evening Rants, and more. There's a social media platform there where you can say whatever you want because it's all about free speech. Just do it. Support the show. Go there. Check out Flex Your Feminine, the other sponsor for today's show. I'm just going to flat out say this right now. If you're tired about being a disgusting pig or not living in your feminine excellence, then you need to go to flexyourfeminine.com, get a hold of Kayla, who's sitting in today with me as usual on the Friday show, and live your best life ever as the queen. Yay! Let's have a show.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on this show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominic Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
Good goddamn day here on the Rants of Izzo show on Spreely Media. Over in the chat, good to see Sarah Nichols, Kelly Wilson, Bev, April Schoen, Kate. It's good to see all you guys. If you're new, Morgan, if you guys are new to the Rants of Izzo show, there is a link in all the descriptions of the show. Doesn't matter if you're listening in the podcast, replay, or live. You can see it says show link, Rants of Izzo show link. Click, jump on, and have a conversation with all of us. It is Friday. It's been a short week for me. I've been very busy, so I appreciate you guys getting some timeouts from me. So, but that's it. We're back. We're live, and it's going to be Friday. Kayla from Flex Your Feminine sitting in. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hello. I'm wonderful. How are y'all doing?
How's your vulva?
My vulva is hairless and healthy.
Okay. Did you know that Ellie Sedgwick first felt anxiety about what her vulva looked like when she was 13. And a teenage boy asked her what it looked like. Quote, "This was one of the first times I'd even thought about how mine looked. And from that moment, I felt like something was wrong with me," she told the news. Ms. Sedgwick said her anxiety stemmed from the slang of the referring to having a nice innie or outie vagina. Some women have vaginas where their labias are visible and some don't. The 34-year-old said that in high school, she had heard horrible comments directed at women that had had outie vaginas. Quote, "My vulva anxiety grew through my teens, eventually evolving into self-hate as the words like kebab or upside down volcano."
Oh my God.
I've never heard that. Upside down volcano and octopussy were thrown around the schoolyard to describe vulva, she said. Roast beef sandwich would be more appropriate. Miss Sedgwick said the whole experience made her feel different from other girls, largely because of society's silence on vulva diversity. Here we are. Growing up, I saw no representation of holy shit and shoved me in it.
Oh my.
Growing up, I saw no representation of vulvas like mine, and uneducated comments made me believe I wasn't normal, she said. After one of her first sexual experiences, a cruel comment about her vagina was made by the brother of somebody she'd slept with. This escalated the shame that I was already experiencing and made me feel uncomfortable with my partner, really difficult me for years to come, she said. Sedgwick, who just released a book called Flip Through My Flaps, The Exploration of the Vulva, has been working on leaning towards love of her vulva. Quote, "My vulva shame didn't completely heal until a recent trip to New York to finish the final pages of my book," she said. "During my trip, I finally stepped out from behind the camera and for the first time had my vulva photographed. I was able to use a draft of my own book to compare my vulva to others, finally realizing that mine was just like everybody else's, unique, normal, and beautiful. She explained that her book had led to so many beautiful messages from women. I've had thousands of women message me sharing their appreciation for the celebration of their vulva diversity. I honestly hosted my first book launch in Melbourne. Okay, after seeing my work on her. I've learned that the labia I spent so much of my life worrying about is completely normal, and it's not just a pointless piece of skin. It has thousands of nerve endings that can be used as a tool for my pleasure. I've learned to love this part of myself by helping others to do the same. The reason I bring this up is, number one, I'm a guy. I don't like any...
Are you? I didn't know that.
I am. I don't... Now, here's my preference. During the porn era, those who are my age remember Caitlin Ashland from the 90s, 80s, and 90s, and everybody remembers how she looks. I do not like any lips for my purposes. I like a woman who's got, an expression of flowery presence between her legs. Looks like a tulip that was dipped in fucking viscousy water, and it's just glowing in its glass. It's all its fucking glory. That's me. I don't care. You, on the other hand, deal with this kind of shit and the feminine mystique of self-exploration. What the fuck is this, dude?
I'm so confused by that entire, what was that, an article?
Yeah,
an
it
email?
was. Sure, it was an article.
I don't even know where to start. I blacked out and just started staring at my female reproductive system anatomy chart that I have on the wall, because I'm just like, I don't understand how, I don't know. I don't get how we got here. I don't get how we got here.
You've seen the movie Fried Green Tomatoes, right?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. Fried Green Tomatoes.
Okay.
If you've never seen it, it's a fantastic movie. Jessica Tandy.
Okay.
And oh crap, who is the woman from Misery? Kathy Bates. And it was a great movie. It really was. And in one scene, Kathy Bates, who's this frustrated housewife who's trying to re-spark her marriage, all this stuff, she takes these feminine classes, and she goes to one where like this woman is passing out mirrors, and a group of women, it's like a Tupperware party, but they're all doing women empowerment. And she's like, ladies, we're going to look at your vagina. We're going to look at our vaginas today. It's like, holy shit. I don't know men who would all get together and embrace her. Look at your cock. Look at those balls. It's like, yeah, it's there. I don't care. I don't care.
No. Well, but also your guys' stuff is all out and ours is all in. So like it's a completely different coding.
I don't know why you women are so sensitive about, like, it doesn't bother me. If a woman goes,
I personally don't understand it. I've never had an experience where there was a complaint. So I just don't really understand it. And I'm not trying to be like that doesn't happen, because obviously there are very bad experiences that women go through, but I just don't really understand like how you can, well, I do understand it, but I just don't subscribe to it. I guess I should clarify. I just don't subscribe to it. Like if somebody had a problem, they just don't get access. Like I don't understand why you have to like reframe your entire life and make your identity, Octopussy or something, and make it this big old thing when it should just be, it always starts with you first.
Now, full disclosure.
Like what you're saying with you guys, like with you men, what you're saying, you guys love your dicks.
A little too much.
You do. Yeah. It a little too much, maybe we could argue. Like it's the opposite end of the spectrum. Women self-hate and men, obviously.
It's a couple different things, though. Now, number one, of course, when I was much, much younger, I specifically remember an insult. There was I was in my very early 20s, 22 maybe, and I had hooked up with a girl who was a waitress at another bar, came to our bar, and the sexual chemistry was horrible. And I think back then
that's a great start.
Yeah, I was going through my like phase of trying to be masculine by shaming you talk shit about somebody, this and that. And I remember the sex was bad. And I remember going to the work the next day.
Well, how old were you?
22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And she was like 28. So in my mind, that was a woman who was like 60. And it's horrible. So I'm like, I've got the shame now of banging a 28-year-old. And they're like, how was it? God. I go, when I put my hands down there, it was like a bowl of dead wet worms. I remember specifically saying that. So, and I know she never heard about it, but if she ever heard that, that's pretty fucking bad. But
yeah,
men, I would never, if a woman ever sat there and it's always the go-to, right? It's always the go-to when women, even in the comment section, I bet you've got a little dick. It's like, yeah. I'm 5'7". It's proportional. If I'm 6 inches on a good day, because I got that because I'm losing body fat. Other than that, I'm not too worried about the size. I'm not going to go run and write a book about embracing my small penis, and you should too.
Right.
That her shit is it's self-deprecation almost, like that self-deprecating humor. Yeah, like if I go and I know I'm short and I make fun of myself, it's because I'm traumatically trying to deal with an issue that really bothers me. I don't care how much she says this. She's getting her shit published because she hates her fucking pussy. It's as simple as that. And she has a problem with it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'd like to think that with all of this self-exploration and discovery that she's worked through that and she doesn't continue to hate herself. But I agree with you that there's quite a bit of a self-deprecation vein going on. But I think like the whole porn industry has a lot to do with this for both sexes. We've got overexposure to sexual fetishes. We've got overexposure to ridiculously large dicks and surgically altered vulvas, to where we have no idea what is natural or what is real anymore. The amount of surgical and aesthetic alterations that women specifically subject themselves to in order to appease what they think men want, in order to compete with other women, and climb the social hierarchy ladder. Like it's on a whole nother level than what men experience.
100%. You summed it up. It's women doing what they think men want, never asking us, and then competing with other women. And the definitive example of that is if you ask a guy who's dating somebody, what do you prefer in? Dress to the hilt, hair done, high heels, dress going out for night, or fucking sweats and just looking like she's comfortable. We're going to go sweats and comfortable every single time. It's just attractive to us. But women, no, I just can't. I don't feel sexy. Do you, moving that forward, do you have any worry at all about what's going to happen to the feminine movement with all these women who are now shaving their heads and refusing sex to people because Trump won? I mean, I'm not at
all worried about the feminine movement, because that has nothing to do with our feminine movement. That's called feminist. I'm not a part of that movement. I've been very clear about that. I am over here in the feminine camp, not the feminist camp. Very anti-feminist. Hello. My name's Kayla, middle name Contrarian. Surprise a lot of people.
What's this? You brought this up, and the 4B movement. And my dad mentioned this the other day. What is this? Because explain what this is, the 4B movement.
So we've got the feminist Western woman losing her mind about Daddy Trump getting back into office, and she's losing all her rights. And so they decided that they're going to appropriate the Korean woman's protest, which is the 4B woman. It's from North Korea. Her protest against government. And this started over in North Korea. I'm pretty positive it's North Korea, not South Korea. North Korea is the communist one, right? Do I have that correct?
Yeah, that's Kim Jong-un.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically it's what you're seeing right now, where women are losing their minds and crying and screaming all over the internet and shaving their heads and wearing like blue solidarity bracelets so that when they're out in public, they don't have to say a word and risk being attacked by the MAGA women. They just have their little blue bracelets that you can see from across the room and feel safe together silently, right? Because they're so oppressed now. It's going to be the Handmaid's Tale all over. Just unbelievable. So they're like, swearing off men. They're not going to date men. They're not going to marry men. They're not going to have sex with men. They're not going to have children with men. That's the whole thing. And I have not heard from a single woman on what we could call my side of the aisle, the feminist, more traditional, conservative, even biblical values side of the aisle woman, who has a problem with this or wants to like argue with these women, because it like it's honestly fixing itself. It's fixing itself.
Yeah, they're breeding each other out.
Yeah, so you're just pulling yourselves out of the gene pool is what you're doing, and we have no problem with that, because what you're doing also is admitting by your actions that celibacy works, abstinence works. And you're also admitting by your actions now, by joining this movement, that you've been using abortion as birth control. You're admitting it. So we're just all kind of sitting here going, this is rather entertaining and also rather sad that all of these women are actually subscribing to this mental illness.
It gets worse.
But it gets worse. But at the same time, we're also kind of sitting here, at least I'll speak for myself and, the circle of women that I talk to about it. It's like, it's sort of taking care of itself. And we're not really that worried about it, because we're over here going to have babies.
Oh, wait a second, because something might translate from the liberals into conservatives who hate their husbands regardless. Have you ever heard of aqua tofana?
Isn't that like a skincare?
Oh, yeah, sure. Here you go. Let's all take a look at this educational video together here on the Rants of Izzo. Men, pay attention.
Well, I see we're all suddenly Googling aqua tofana, so let me give you a little bit of history about its legendary inventor, Julia, and the women behind her. For she was not one, she was many. Hello, I'm Sinead from the Poisoner's Cabinet podcast. A while ago, I did a video telling the story about aqua tofana, what it does, and its origins, and for some reason, it's getting a lot of hits recently. The story goes that aqua tofana was invented by Julia Tofana. She was originally from Sicily. She moved to Rome in the 1600s, and she and a bunch of women that she trusted started selling this poison in secret to other women. Aqua tofana was a mixture, it was said, of arsenic, lead, belladonna, cantharidin. But what made the poison so special was that you could precisely time when your intended victim would shuffle off this mortal coil, because you could get doses that delivered death in a day, a week, a month, even a year. And the poison was sold in secret to women to help them escape abusive marriages. Because, of course, women at the time were considered property. You bought them, you could do what you wanted with them, and the only escape for most of these women was death, either their own or their husbands. The story of aqua tofana was sensationalized over the centuries by different male writers. In the 1800s, you have a couple of writers giving great detail about the beauty of how aqua tofana was wielded, but also calling the women witches, betrayers, and saying nothing of the actions of the husbands of the women who bought the poison. They told the story, and a lot of the other women were left out of it, and also the records seem to have been muddied, that we end up with this woman, Julia Tofana, at the center. So Julia Tofana's real name was likely to be Giulia Mangiardi. The inventor of aqua tofana is actually thought to be a woman named Tofania d'Adamo. She lived in Sicily, she was an apothecary, and in 1633 she was convicted and executed for poisoning her husband. Now, many people believe that Giulia was Tofania's daughter, or at least one of her disciples, and she learnt the secret of aqua tofana from her, which is where the Tofana surname comes in. So Giulia Mangiardi becomes Julia Tofana. Now, Julia is born and raised in Sicily, which was under Spanish control at the time, but at some point in the 1620s, possibly the 1630s, she moves to Rome. She will go there with her husband and with her daughter, Geronima Spana. I really hope I'm getting the pronunciations right. I'm so sorry. And in Rome, mother and daughter set up their business selling cosmetics. They set themselves up as apothecaries, as cunning women. The women are also building up a network of trusted female helpers. They have women working with them to procure the different poisons to make aqua tofana and also to get clients. You had to, apparently, know someone who had already worked with the Tofana brand, as it were, before you could access the poison. So you had to be referred in by an existing customer, so there could be no men just dressing up and going, poison please. Now, instead of Julia being captured and tortured and executed for her poisoning crimes, it's thought that she may have died peacefully in her sleep around 1651, and her daughter carried on the business with her army of helpers. And unfortunately, it was Geronima who was arrested when one client gave away the secrets of the poison ring. Geronima was put on trial along with her other female helpers. These women confessed their crimes after much spiky treatment. While the exact who's who of the story has been amalgamated and convoluted over the years, the central story remains. There was a ring of female, very talented poisoners operating in Italy in the 1600s, selling secretive poisons hidden as cosmetics to women to help them escape abusive marriages. Women within the poisoning ring were executed, and for centuries afterwards they were vilified as witches and betrayers of men. But today, Julia and her girls are remembered in a very different light. Remember to follow us for more weird and...
That's not the thing. Is now you have people like this.
Somebody find Bailey Sarian. She'll know what to do. Hey, girly pop.
Oh, I'm not going to give you... That's just a thing. So all these videos here is they're advocating using it.
Do I have time to create a 12th mini potion design for Friday's restock? No, I do not. I do not. Do I have a choice though? Do I? When a whole bunch of like weird people are going to my old Aqua Tofana video and telling me that I'm going to hell, that I'm going to jail, that they're reporting my account, that they're tagging the FBI on TikTok, which is amusing, I have to say. They're tagging Donald Trump on my video. Excuse you, sir.
I have to, maybe they're starting to move them off, but these are people are saying, here, hopefully this is an example.
Just when you think that you've heard it all, you have. Go over to Google and look up Aqua Tofana, look at the backstory, and then come back to TikTok and search it in the search bar. The crazy is getting crazier.
So yeah, these people are saying if your husband voted for Trump, and they may be taking these things down now, they're advocating that women poison their husbands. And hopefully they're taking them down. But my God, it was like crazy the other day where I'm like, that's how I found this. It's insane. They're going, my body, my choice. Okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I just thought it was insane.
My body, my choice. And if you voted for someone that aligns with your body and your choice, then just I'm going to unalive you.
Mm-hmm.
These are, again, this goes back to what you and I always talk about. It's always going to go back to this spiritual warfare. We have witches and warlocks.
I'm sorry.
Running everything right now. And this is a perfect example of witchcraft. Like we're talking about poisoning each other because we don't share the same opinions.
Yeah, leave it to good old Twitter. I found the video I was talking about. And I shall play it for you and everyone else.
Never gonna happen, sweetie.
To stem this off, for those who don't know Nick Fuentes, who I didn't know was from Chicago. Nick Fuentes is like a Stu Peters, very, very, very well known. I guess he's a self-proclaimed incel, and an incel is a younger man who says that they're unable to sexually attract women, all this kind of stuff. And he's very much anti-Jew, all this stuff. And after the election, he was trolling because he has a show like everybody else. And he said, he said the same thing. This is him in the beginning saying this, your body, my choice. And women are fucking outraged. I don't want that. I don't.
No sense of sarcasm, apparently.
No.
Never gonna happen, sweetie. Your body, our choice.
So she's for those who are looking, this woman was at a countertop pouring something into somebody's cup of coffee, and she's dressed like a housewife, the fluffy dress and the apron, and then it goes into the whole history of Aqua Tofana. What is this pig? I can see this again. I don't think I've watched that far. Oh my gosh, come on. This is why I need a damn friggin' intern.
Aqua Tofana. Am I right? Aqua Tofana. If you know, you know. Barely can wait to hit him with the snare and the bass square in the face. This fucking world better prepare to get laced because they're gonna.
If they're actively promoting this and these women, these TikToks, should they be investigated for potential criminal crime? I mean, they didn't. Here, Aqua Tofana.
I mean, all this looks like premeditated murder to me. So, I mean, all they're doing is outing themselves, and they think they're doing something. Like they think they're being the resistance. Pretty sure, if this whole Aqua Tofana thing is true and not legend, pretty sure they weren't posting about it on TikTok when it was happening. Sounds like it was pretty damn secretive, so they could avoid the consequences. So, not quite the same level of masterminding intelligence here.
And there are also women who are stupid and can't figure out, maybe you should keep this off the internet to not get exposed.
Exactly.
It's more proof that women shouldn't be in charge of shit.
Yeah, can I just? Oh, I'm so mean, but like,
Go ahead.
they all have something in common.
They're all unattractive physically.
Mm-hmm.
That's a legitimate phenomenon. You have you seen the videos of the women who are like, they go into college after high school and they're like really wholesome, good looking, like American girls. And then like 2 semesters later, they're overweight. They shave their head. They got multiple piercings. And I'm not anti-piercing. I think some piercings are attractive, but it's like they to them, I have to use this argument. Years ago, a buddy of mine, it was like 20 years ago, we were talking about the standards of American beauty. And his argument was, well, if you look at it, America back then, Kate Moss was all the rage. You have Kate Moss here, but if you brought Kate Moss over into like some tribe in Africa, she wouldn't be desirable to them.
No.
Look at African men, women who find the big fat. I'd be a king in Africa because I'm fat, because I look like I can provide for and all this shit. So beauty standards are one thing. How did it become like? Why are we almost like DNA structurally attracted to? I'm not attracted to fat women. I'm just not. And you can't bully or shame me into going, well, you need to like, oh, that was my buddy's wife for fucking decades. You need to fall in love with somebody on the inside. Not if I'm not sexually attracted to him. So I don't understand this on purpose, or it could be unintentional, gravitating towards getting fat, looking like shit, letting your skin go fucking bleach white, dyeing your hair a color, piercing your face, and you think that's expressing your outward beauty, but you look fucking gross.
Yeah. Well, it's my belief is that it's all part of a psychological warfare operation to dismantle the nuclear family and inject division between men and women, because there is nothing more primal than a sexual attraction. There's nothing more primal than that. And you've seen in culture over the last handful of decades a progressive continuation trend of androgyny, where men are becoming more feminized, less masculine, and women are becoming more masculinized and less feminine. And this continual like merging to where there's just no clear-cut sexual aesthetic markers anymore, as is in alignment with natural law, has led us to the current state of affairs where we have the whole completely irrational, illogical proposition that men can be women and men can breastfeed and women can be men. And now we don't know what a woman is. And even biology professionals don't know what a woman is because they could get fired. And it's like, there's no objective truth anymore when it comes to freaking genetics. So trust the science, right? So here we are, but there's been a long road that's led us here. And things like Kate Moss were a part of that psychological operation, because you're right, according to different cultures, there's a lot of different standards of beauty, and the American westernized culture standard of beauty is very different from where it is, or from what it is in other areas of the world. But you even look at throughout the course of history, the standard of beauty has never been the emaciated woman like it was for America for the last 20 years. It also has never been the obese woman or man. There's the, like what you're talking about
bods.
with different tribes. Yeah, dad bods. Like what you're talking about, where it's like, I would be a king because I'm fat, and therefore that communicates subconsciously that I'm abundant, I'm rich, I can provide, yada, yada. It's more than that. You're, like maybe you're fluffy, but you're not obese. Obese has never been seen as the abundant protector, whatever. So there's these different markers according to the sexes that tell us who is fertile and who is able to provide and protect. Women hormonally and physiologically have very different markers that they look for in men in order to procreate with at a primal level. And your subconscious mind and your hormones do all of this for you without you thinking about it. And men, vice versa. You guys have very different markers that you look for subconsciously and hormonally at physiological levels for who to mate with.
I said this. I was saying this the other day. There was a study I was told about 15 years ago that why men blondes have more fun. That's what they say. They determined that men's biological reaction to women was implicating that they believe them to be more fertile on a subconscious level. That's why men chase blondes sexually more than they do in a totality of it. I want to ask about innate sexual behavior, because the one thing I always thought was you take one. If I was on a mission from God, and He's like, "Go get my people back." And I had the seal of approval and could do no wrong on anything. I'm telling you flat out, you take 20 liberal women who are they hate toxic masculinity and death to all men and aqua tafine, all this shit. The one that's going to get the ruthless dicking like she reads in, 50 Shades of Grey. She's not going to control herself and be like, okay, why am I attracted to a man who just choked me, slammed me into a bedroom wall, passionately ripped my clothes off, and animalistically had sex with me? They're going to respond to that versus the feminine cuck energy that they think they want from liberal men. That has got to be DNA too, because that's also survival of the fittest. You don't want a passive-aggressive lion walking up to you like, meow. You want a motherfucking Serengeti plane just tearing the shit. Roar, bitch. We're breeding some cubs today. That's what they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, it's all very subconscious. It's all very primal. So this is why women get very confused, whether, they start having whether it's rape fantasies or just rough sex fantasies or whatever, they get very confused and they get into a whole state of shameflamation where they just don't understand themselves and they judge themselves over it. But it's actually, when you understand the biological mechanisms at play here, it doesn't mean you have to act on everything, but it means you can understand it and you can wield things differently. But these the sexual markers that we are all attracted to at different varying degrees have also been weaponized against us as a form of control and conquer and divide and conquer between the sexes over the decades. That's very, very clear to me in the fitness industry and the fashion industry where I come from. So I've made a couple posts on that too, where people are welcome to go read about how men are more attracted when they get into the fitness space specifically. They become more attracted to the exceptionally masculine markers on women that they otherwise would not be attracted to if they were exposed to appropriately fertile looking women. The natural state of attraction is very different from the contortions that we're seeing in the fitness space and even the emaciation of the fashion space. They are both androgynous mind viruses running in our culture and are meant to depopulate the planet. It's all a form of birth control.
You just said, we talked about this on Wednesday. You talked about androgynous. We talked about on Wednesday, like the social goal to, if you know, like a race. I said that there's going to be some government mandate or law like 3 generations from now that says, oh, Mr. Izzo, sorry, you in your 20s and your 30s, you dated white women. Now you're only allowed to date African-American women or Asian women, you know, going on forward in life. And that's it. So, but if their goal is to breed, everybody's going to have the same color brown skin. Everybody's got the same brown eyes. It's like mixing colors on paint, and it all goes black. Maybe they all want that black, right? Then you move into artistic freedom, gone, because that's how you express shit. I said this on Wednesday. If anybody's ever seen the movie Equilibrium with Christian Bale, great movie. They've got to take a pill.
Good movie.
They got to suppress their artistic side. But you just said it too, androgyny. Yeah. How soon until nobody's got a chiseled jawline, nobody has cheekbones, nobody has, cat-like eyes. I mean, everybody is androgynous, and you just can't tell what their gender is. You mix those two things together, we're all fucked.
That's what they want. But that also goes back to the spiritual realm and the Luciferian agenda that these elite slave masters practice, where the Baphomet is androgynous. It's a male-female unit.
Yeah.
That's what they think is the highest form of, what's the word I want? Like the highest form of existence is to be both male and female, completely androgynous.
Can we talk about how fucked up women are for a second?
Sure.
I wanted to point this out. I have to find this specific reel. Now, did I save it? I had, okay.
This is where, like, I think you've said before, like, women don't like me very much because I'm very contrarian in the sense that I love women, but I love the feminine more and I love the masculine. So I really do believe in calling us out on our shit respectively.
Yeah. And that
you have to be held to a higher standard.
Yeah, and I love that, I love that. I fucking, oh my God. I got to see, please tell me I saved this. Please, because it popped up in a reply today. And I'm like, oh, I forgot I was going to do something on that. I was going to do a reel on this, but then I went, no, I got to save this for the show, and I have to include you to see that.
Oh, is it the profile you sent me?
Yeah, I did. I needed to.
Go to my DMs.
I've got that, but there's a specific video. Come on, man. I had to have saved it. It was this video of a woman, because we save everything now. We save everything. I'm going back a little bit more in my DMs. Going back a little bit more in my DMs. Or not my DMs, my saved. Okay, didn't find it. I'm going to pull up this Instagram, and maybe it'll get banned like we did last time or whatever. Yeah, that was with you, where I was calling that woman out, and all of a sudden was getting banned, like she blocked me. That was with you, right?
She blocked. I don't think it was with me, but I remember,
no.
I remember you talking about it.
All right, so I think about everything as a man, and the reason I call this out is because there's something else that I'm not going to talk about this one woman yet because I haven't made a decision, but I am in contact with a fallen police officer's mother. That I went to a funeral years ago, and this is me, I can't say this, and I'm looking at this woman post who's got a new life, the wife who's survived. Wife is happy, wife's got a new life, and husband and kids and all this stuff, and then the other day, the wife is on social media crying about her husband that was killed in 2016, and I'm like, I don't know if I believe those tears. I just don't.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And then I'm at that. Text me. Let me know if you. I want to see if you're talking about the same person. Yeah, and then I'm like, I feel like shit. Going, fucking. That's not right. That you're got a new husband, new kids, and you're still cucking for your dead husband for what, clout, because you're not getting the attention you wanted. So ironically enough, I'm still waiting for your text.
Oh,
Yeah, text me.
I don't remember the name of the account, but I think I've seen it before. I'll have to find the account and send it to you to see if I'm thinking of the same thing.
I just sent you.
Okay.
The name. Ringing any bell?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. This is Adrian Sam, 230,000 followers on TikTok or Instagram. And all of this down. Let's see this one. Let's look at this one really quickly. This is from October 17th. October 17th of this year. Where did time go? She posts. And she posts, what goes on in moms' heads when everyone is singing happy birthday to her baby? Happy birthday and she's showing flashes of her kid and how time is progressing. Flashes of her husband is in there, the child's father. It's cute stuff, right? It's pretty cute. I like that. That's okay. Here's one of her on the floor. And this is from October 10th. October 10th. She's reposting this today for World Mental Health Day. Here's your reminder that you don't have to be alone in your struggle. You matter. And here's her. I don't think people understand.
People understand how much strength it takes to pull your own self out of a dark place mentally. So if you've done that today or any other day, I'm proud of you. You've broken down. No, I don't.
All right. Now, I don't think I could find the reel that I want. And the reel was a photo or a video. Oh, here's a 16 million video one. Let's check out this one out. This is the one right here. Okay, this was posted last year, October 10th. Hugging my husband in two completely different ways, both within weeks apart. That's his urn.
Mm-hmm.
This now mental health I think is a fucking excuse. You fucking take the time to set up a camera in your car to hug a fucking urn. This is not about him. It's about your sympathy, number one. I have zero respect for this. The other fucking part then is not a few days later, 6 days ago, this is a different guy. And she's doing a photo dump of a different guy. That's different. That's not her husband. That's not. And I'm like, maybe it's a friend of hers. Oh, and then that's not a friend. You don't pose like that. And then I look in the comment section to make sure I wasn't being an asshole. 2 broken families made whole. Happiness looks so good on you. You're going to fucking tell me that as a man, you're getting involved with a woman whose entire identity, because social media is his identity
right now,
is plastering your fucking dead husband everywhere for likes. This is what's wrong with America. Yeah. Adrian Sansam, you're a fucking diseased. You need help. You need to come off social media, and you are poisoning women for healthy relationships. And this cuck, dude, you're a fuck. She pegs you. I have no fucking respect for you. It's my rant.
I don't, I'm not going to pretend to understand the pain of losing a husband. I've had people in my life that have walked that road, and it's a heavy one. But what I especially don't understand and don't respect is the clout chasing. I don't understand like what you're talking about. I can't imagine if I was in that position, there's no way that I would be advertising it. I also don't understand parents who could incessantly post their children's faces online and make their entire identity on social media about their children on public accounts. This world is too dangerous for that shit. I don't understand how you are not protecting your children's identities. They aren't consenting to having pedophiles jack off to their faces on social media. That's the world we live in. And y'all are walking around like, oh, look, we went to a pumpkin patch and we're posting, half naked pictures of my daughter's bath time on social media for grandma to like. Yeah. And every other pedophile that is scouring the internet, you have no idea where those photos are ending up and what they're being used for. It's so disgusting to me. So I don't understand the lack of intentionality the lack of respect for the grieving process. And of course, I'm going to get a lot of hate for, well, this is how we process information and everybody grieves differently. And people need to know that they're not alone. And this is just a different version of a support group. I've heard it all before, right? And you do you, like, you're not hurting me. I don't care. This is America. This is the land of the free. I'm just not going to engage in accounts like this. You don't get my vote with my attention, because I find it disturbing. I find it disturbing to receive your husband's urn and post it on social media and set up your camera.
Wait, I found something.
I find it just as disturbing as the whole, making money off of your kids' faces in sourdough baking videos. I find it just as disturbing.
Yeah. Ready? Here you go. It's a fucking photo shoot with her husband's urn. Who does this?
I don't know.
It's
really an illness.
I've never seen a man do this. Never seen a fucking man do this.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. It's not how I would process my grief.
No, I want to go into this. I want to go into, you're fucking posting your dead husband all over your social media, and then days later you post a dump of the new man you're dating. What the fuck does that say about a man who's like, oh yeah, here's a woman with a 250,000 followers on Instagram. Every single one of her social media posts is about her grieving her dead husband. And then it goes into fucking, oh, look, now she's going to share a picture of me. That man deserves to be mocked. He deserves, dude, it's like what do you squirt? You fucking ejaculate orange juice because you're that sweet? I don't get it at all. Don't get it.
I don't get it. No. I don't get it either. I mean, of course, you're allowed to move on after your husband dies. God forbid. Nobody, I mean, unless you're creating that devil juice to poison him with, like, nobody wants that to happen, right? So you didn't plan on it happening. You didn't want it to happen. You're allowed to move on with your life after a respectable amount of timing to process and grieve. But if you're going to continue to make your entire social media identity about your widow status and your dead husband, do we not see like the lack of tact and class in also posting your new relationship? Like, one needs to make room for the other, in my opinion.
I where the hell, man? We need an intern. I'm freezing all over here. It's disturbing to me. It really is disturbing to me, because to me, death is something that should be processed privately with loved ones and your relationship with the Lord. And I don't understand the fixation on social media of needing to cry on camera and make a spectacle of your hardest moments and gather sympathy and empathy and attention. It's attention whoring at the highest degree. And I see mothers doing this with their children, like I expressed. I see them doing this with their dead husbands. I mean, it's disgusting to me. There's no privacy anymore. Like, women, you're posting your pussies for free. You're also doing OnlyFans. And now you're whoring out your urn of your dead husband and your children's bath time. Do we not see that it's disgusting? Like, you have no boundaries. There is no queenship code boundaries here on what is respectful. It's just, yeah. This is the day and age we live in. I have to wonder if it's like that guy is like me when I was in my 20s. I can save her. I can rescue her.
Yeah, the white knight.
How? I would never. And I'm trying to think. I always had problems dating anybody who was with somebody for a significant amount of time, because I'm like, listen, I got to compete for every birthday, every holiday, every monumental occasion. And you've only been single for like 6 months. Can't do it. I would never. And I'm trying to think if I've ever, no, to my knowledge, I don't know any woman who has ever had a husband who's died. I can't do it. Can't do it, because at least when you go through a divorce, there's there's a choice right?
There's closure.
It's like, okay, he cheated on me. It took me a while to get over, but then I learned to hate him. Death is like, man, I didn't want that relationship to end and he died. Sorry. I can't date you.
He was taken from you. Like, how are you ever going to compete with that?
I'm like, I don't have it in me. Any man who's like that, I mean, great. If you genuinely, and that's the problem.
Well, and vice versa, you know, a man who, what is it called when a wife dies?
Widower.
Yeah. Widower. Okay. Vice versa. Like, you know, the dead wife is now a saint in his eyes. Like, how is another woman ever supposed to compete with that? It's like in Yellowstone with John Dutton's wife passed, right? And he never got over her. He fucked other women, sure, but he's always going to be in love with his dead wife. And that is just a place in his heart and his life and even his bed that is not up for, it's not an open position that's available to be filled.
I just have to, I got to send you that link on your phone for us watching. And I don't want to play it, but I want you to watch it really quickly and just tell me if that's the same person you're thinking of, because the same shit. Moved on, got married, had new kids, celebrates her new husband like crazy, and they're just on the anniversary of the one cop's death. I got to go back and cry.
Yeah, this is the same one. This is the one I was thinking of.
Are you kidding me?
And this one really, really hurts my heart because I'm married to a cop. So like there's an empathetic level there of like Leo wife. And if I lost my husband, I would be an absolute mess. But I cannot align or identify with this whole putting my grieving process all over the internet. I don't understand it. Isn't her new? Oh, never mind. We're not going to talk about her yet.
The new one is.
Isn't he a cop too?
I have no idea. I'd be embarrassed if he was. Poor guy.
Maybe I'm thinking wrong because I don't follow them. But yeah, it's horrible. Like I feel horrible even talking about this because again, everyone has their own grieving process, and these women
there's
are obviously,
a point where it becomes milking.
But I just don't agree with it personally. Like it's America. Do what you want. I honestly don't care. This is the point of free speech. You're allowed to go post whatever you want, talk whatever you want about anything. It doesn't really affect me. I just personally this is not how I would live my life.
Oh, I'll be the asshole. This is fucking vile. It's disgusting. What is the point, or what is the point where you go, okay, listen, I've made my argument. Like for me, I criticize law enforcement all the time, and it's a never-ending process of trying to fix that problem, right? And I'm going to try to form my argument without being hypocritical. With her, if her viewpoint is to help the grieving widowers and widows, right. Great, awesome. Stop leveraging your husband. You've already put it up there. Like I guess if I was ever shot on duty, I could go give tours of it, this and that. But there has to be a progressional level of, all right, this is my experience. Let's translate it and everything. Not fucking repetitive TikTok and Instagram videos of, it's disgusting.
It's very similar to, I see this a lot in the female coaching space with relationships and marriages who the husband has cheated on the wife and she is working through this, right? And so it's been years since he was unfaithful. And they've worked through it, and it's even better with Christian accounts. And they've worked through it, and it's all forgiven, and God redeems, right? And there's one post talking about God's faithfulness and redemption and how healthy their marriage is. And then the next post is identifying with the woman who's in the dark moments, and she's going back to what it felt like when she found out about being betrayed. And she's constantly reliving this experience and rehashing it. And of course, she's got a coaching program on how to get through that, and she's making money off of it.
There you
right?
go. There you
so
go.
like, it's also, to me, it's also just disgusting to be profiting off of dragging your husband's infidelity through the mud if you've actually forgiven him and God has redeemed, Christians, I'm calling you to a higher standard. Like, God has redeemed your marriage and saved your marriage and gotten you through that. Absolutely minister to other women and husbands and marriages that are going through that. But why are you dragging your marriage and your husband's name and his unfaithfulness through the mud on a consistent basis and just reminding him and yourself and everyone else about the whole it's
there's like it's like negativity. It's easier and it feels better to be in a bad mood than it does in a good mood. I can't remember what that is called, but it's like there are people who that is their dopamine level, feeling in a bad mood. And it's easier for us to be consumed by negativity and bad moods than good moods and positivity.
Right.
They never identify.
That's
my mother. My mother lived vilifying my fucking father every day of the week for the last 10 years of her existence on this earth. And I have to wonder how the hell she would live if she was ever happy. It's like, you don't even know how to be. Misery.
Right.
What's the saying? Misery loves company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very, very true. And it does. It shit attracts a lot more flies.
Oh my God. I can't I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. Every video of this woman. Oh, let's see. Here's her thing. Did I make you uncomfortable on my own platform? Yeah, you did. I got to hear what she says here.
No, see, even that. I don't even agree with that.
Oh, whatever.
You're not making me uncomfortable on your own platform. The fact that you're not uncomfortable with the way that you're conducting yourself in the aftermath of losing your husband, that you are not uncomfortable with sharing all of this the way that you're sharing this is questionable. It's a question that I have. However, again, not my life. Don't care. Would run my life differently if I was in that same situation.
I understand that. And there is the whole aspect of, well, if you don't like it, just click and move on. I get that.
Correct.
But that's not the way the world works anymore. Social media, it's our food, it's our currency, it's our air.
Yes.
And it just is what it is, because I can but here's the other problem. The other problem is unaddressed behaviors condone behavior. And if you just turn the other cheek and don't worry about it, stuff like this becomes the accepted norm. Because if you look at this, and fuck, we're out of time in this one. How many women, young girls, would be influenced by this and say, oh, I guess this is my outlet because I get attention on me.
Right. No, it's no different than how they have learned and been socially conditioned to get attention by taking off more clothing online. It's the same process. The more I bare my soul.
I mean, that's okay. The more you bare your ass.
And that's a mess too.
I know. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Tell everybody a little bit about flexyourfeminine.com.
Go check out flexyourfeminine.com. You can see the different tiers of programs available to fit within your budget and also your goals, what you're looking for. I help women strategize their nutrition, their fitness goals around our hormones and phases of life. Postpartum, menopausal, it's all a part of what we do. So sync your training and your nutrition to your cycle and find out the strong side of fitness.
Sorry, I clicked on the wrong button. Joy Behar's annoying fucking toxic cunt voice was spewing. Guys, have an awesome weekend. We'll see you again Monday. Don't be that person. Don't air your dirty laundry shit online unless it's funny. That's a different story. And there's that. Enjoy all your small dicks and your big vulvas. And ladies, yours is perfect. I can guarantee it. Yeah. It's you ever hear that joke? Why does a woman fake an orgasm?
I don't think so.
Why does a woman fake an orgasm?
Why?
Who gives a shit? Guys, go out and do something for somebody today. And if you can't help them, just don't hurt them. See you Monday.